Hey everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steve, and this is 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking.
Are you muted or something?
I'm not plugged in. Modern problems require modern solutions.
Oh, I had a rough time on that one. Hi everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steve, and this is 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing podcast.
That's right, Steve. You want to talk about some lady pissing on a guy?
Oi, mate, are you giving me a piss take?
Welcome to episode 404, episode not found, where we're gonna talk about
Urine.
some woman pissing on a man. We're off to a strong start.
You ever like really got to go pee, but there you can't find a bathroom, and you realize you're in over your head?
You know, totally honestly, like I was talking to my wife about this before this whole thing happened. I feel like 3 weeks ago, something like that. And we were at a comedy show. We went and saw John Mulaney, I think.
Oh, wow,
a few weeks back. We bought the tickets like months ago
Right,
or whatever.
right.
And so we went and saw it. And before he came out, my wife was like, "What do you think he's going through, like backstage?" Because
Like, emotionally?
we were in an outdoor theater. There was
Physically.
like thousands of people there. She's like,
Yeah.
"What do you think like is going through his head when he does these shows and he's backstage and he knows that there's thousands of people waiting to see him?" I was like, "Well, if he's anything like me when I'm waiting for a show to start, I'm thinking like, do I have to pee? No, I don't think I have to. Do I? Should I try to pee? Because if I have to pee when I'm up there, I'm out of luck." Like, I think that's maybe this part of the situation. What happened with this video?
I mean, this is an act, Brass Against. They've been around a while, I guess. They're kind of a alternative heavy metal take, I guess. They do have like one original or a couple.
Well, they have a
songs.
horn section, so they're a ska band,
So
right?
they're a ska band, yeah. But they're my thought is like
They're either a ska band or a Chicago cover band. Those are the only options if you got a horn section.
I think they're probably closer to being a Chicago cover band
That's probably
than
true.
a ska band stylistically.
Right.
It's like if Chicago had gone through a Pat Boone phase in the early 80s.
You know, I bet there's people out there that wish that, you know, the singer of Chicago would pee on their face.
Jeez. They are going on tour with Tool in Europe soon, next year, I guess. So they're known, like people know who they are.
Right.
And like I said, to me, they kind of give off like the edgy version of Scary Pockets, the edgy version of Postmodern Jukebox. That kind of like YouTube. Hey, we've got like a really cool sound, but we mostly just take, you know,
Like viral covers.
songs from a genre. Yeah, they create viral covers.
Right.
You know, Scary Pockets wants to make everything funky, and they get a bunch of musicians from the LA area to help them do it.
If you've got
And-
viral covers on your bed, I suggest using bleach next time you wash.
And Brass Against makes viral covers using a Latin. They make everything Latin jazz, and they're in New York.
We're talking about this like everyone in the audience already knows what happened, and they probably did. If they're people on the internet, in the guitar space, in the musician space on the internet, you know that there was a band and the singer peed on a guy like to end the set.
I was surprised that no one suggested this as a topic and I think the reason for that is because no one wants to hear about it anymore.
I know, but we didn't have a chance to talk about it.
We are, so by recording on Thursday, I've actually, and people have pointed this out, by recording on a Thursday and releasing on a Monday, we are actually almost always behind the news cycle.
Oh, for sure.
Because like I think everyone else either records on a Monday and releases on a Wednesday, or records on a Saturday and releases on a Tuesday.
There ain't no way in hell I'm recording on a Monday.
No.
I'll just say that. We're gonna do late news forever. So just deal with it.
The only thing I want on Mondays is lasagna. That was a Garfield joke.
I was not emotionally prepared for a Garfield joke.
You guys like Garfield?
Damn it, Steve.
What do you guys think about
Oh my gosh.
All right, so actually the thing that a lot of the people who recorded this at a time, because they were so fast to the news cycle, didn't catch is, and I didn't realize this originally, so this was at a festival called Welcome to Rockville. And it was, which is confusing me because I think there's a Rockville like Iowa or Wisconsin or something. So I thought this was like in the Midwest.
It sounds like a Midwest town that was named for its quarry.
Exactly. Exactly. No, Rockville, I think is like, welcome to Rockville.
Right.
And it was in Daytona, Florida at the Daytona Speedway, which is a racetrack where cars go vroom, vroom, and they make a lot of left turns. Which, oddly enough, this is a concert that definitely took a left turn.
It absolutely took a left turn. And I don't know. I think that guy on the stage got the presidential treatment. Big ol' wink there.
My question is a left turn just an alt-right turn?
That's an alternative right turn.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, are we getting political?
So
here we go. Goodbye, half our audience.
The news that came out after this is that NASCAR has come out and said that Brass Against will. Now I wonder if Sophie Urista, how I think that's probably how she says it.
You know her name. I had no idea what her name was.
Leaves. Yeah, women have names, Ryan. You can't just call them, that female over there.
A female. You know, I don't know anyone's names. I don't know the names of people in bands that I adore. Like,
speaking of adore, let's talk about the Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Get to your point.
So now what I want to know is if she were to leave the band, will the band still be permanently banned from NASCAR events, or are they just maybe they changed their name? I don't know, but they've been said that they are no longer welcome at any NASCAR racetrack to perform, and I just find that so.
Do you promise?
Odd, I guess. Do I? Yeah. And I guess like the big deal is this was technically I think it was an all ages event, and I guess NASCAR is trying to promote a family-friendly atmosphere, and I think we can all agree
here he goes.
That this wasn't family-friendly behavior.
No. If I took my kid to a show and he watched some lady pee on a guy's face,
yeah,
I would be like, that's not what I brought my kid here for. But I would also be like, well, I did take my child to a concert. Like, anything could happen. It's not the Wiggles,
Right. And I mean, it was during a Rage Against the Machine song, which kind of seems
cover your ears, kids.
My favorite take was, and Get Offset already said this. If you guys listen to that show, you've already heard this.
If you want to hear this first, go listen to Get Offset first.
Was us? This should have been Rage Against the Latrine. I really thought that was clever. But
get to where you were going.
Going with this, but like maybe there was a statement, but like. Seemed like NASCAR has been mostly okay with their crowds chanting "fuck Joe Biden." Mm-hmm. Which again, like if that's a statement you agree with, I disagree with you, but whatever. That's not the point.
I don't want to have sex with him. He's an old man.
The point. My bigger point is like. Why
if that many people want to have sex with him, okay.
Like NASCAR,
he's a sex symbol, I guess.
A NASCAR race is a sporting event, and sporting events are supposed to be family-friendly events.
Well, it turned into a water sporting event.
Oh my gosh. So I guess my question is like, why is the line somebody
right?
Like I guess it's performer behavior versus.
Why is potty talk okay, but potty time isn't?
Exactly. And I guess the difference is
standard.
It's
hypocrisy is what it is.
Performance for performer behavior versus audience behavior. But then I feel like if you were an individual at a sporting event, like if I went to a Padres game and just started yelling "fuck Joe Biden" at all of the people who are in my section, and they like were not okay with that.
If you were one person doing it, you would be removed.
Yeah, exactly. So, but when the entire crowd is doing it, and then the NBC reporter is like, "Hey, they're chanting." Anyway, so I just think that's odd. I don't know if it's an odd move on NASCAR's part. Unsurprising. It just seems very trivial, and obviously it's gross. But like, you're permanently banned. It's like. Were there
Here's my
were there take. NASCAR fans who were like, if NASCAR doesn't say this band is never going to play at a NASCAR event ever again, I ain't never going to watch that guy turn left no more.
Here's my hot take. This is old school band marketing. Like, this is like 1970s through 1990s style band marketing.
Such a stunt.
This is Ozzy Osbourne biting a bat. This is Gigi Allen shoving a nail through his scrotum or something like that.
I mean,
or like
Gigi Allen, like,
rubbing poop all over his open cuts. This is Red Hot Chili Peppers going on stage with nothing but socks on their dicks.
Which also Blink-182 did.
Right.
And then what was Mike?
But here's the thing. Here's part of my hot take.
The dude what's the band that did that song Epic?
Faith No More.
The guy from Faith No More did stuff like that too.
So we haven't had this for a long time.
Yeah.
The 90s were 20 years ago, and people kind of chilled off on that stuff. Is it going to come back? Like, are other bands going to see, like, this band has 3.6 million plays on this video on YouTube, which apparently hasn't been taken down because I just watched it, and that lady, she can piss. That's a lot. I'm impressed.
She did not go to the bathroom before the show. That is for sure.
That was a strong stream. But like, are we going to go down this road again? I'm going to go on record and say, I'm not against it. I'm not against bands doing stunts. I'm not against bands getting controversial and dirty on stage. Like, I mean, this is like Marilyn Manson stuff, you know? Like
here's my question, Ryan. Why isn't this all over Fox News complaining about how this band has been canceled?
I know, right? Great. They've been canceled now. They've been canceled from NASCAR.
If you weren't in
this is censorship.
If you weren't in the front row, like, you really couldn't see anything anyway. Like, you really couldn't see anything.
Steve, they don't call it the front row. It's the splash zone. Jokes. We've got jokes. It's the 404th episode. It's full of jokes about piss.
Oh, man. You know, somebody complained about, I don't know which episode, maybe it was 403.
If I finish this, I'm going to end up pissing on you later in the episode.
I don't know why you would piss on me when you have so much other places and a bathroom right there.
I have so many places I could pee right now. That's true.
There's like a bush right there.
It's for the show, Steve. 3.6 million views.
Someone already complained. Or in
you
the
know
comments,
how much you can make on YouTube ad revenue from 3.6 million clicks?
Yeah,
that
it's about
is like
$3,600.
No, it's probably closer to like $400.
No, it's more than that. But
Steve, you let me piss on your face at the end of this episode. We get 3.6 million clicks. I'll split the money with you 50-50.
I don't know, man. It feels like I'm doing more of the work there.
I've got to edit it. It would probably be like $3,600.
Yeah. I've heard that. Well, actually, we're coming up on the winter season. Click-through rates might be higher.
That's true. It's Christmas.
It could
be holiday season. The ad rates
actually could be as much as like $12,000.
Whoa. Steve, would you take $6,000? Let me pee on your face at the end of this episode.
No.
$6,000, dude.
If it was like $6,000 and then like Ellen DeGeneres calls us up and like, hey, come on the show. I don't think she's into this.
I do not have a fetish at all for pee, for anything. I find all of that repugnant personally. If you're into it, whatever. If
the dude in the video was very into it.
I would lay down on the ground outside of an all-you-can-eat asparagus restaurant for an hour with people pissing on me for $6,000.
For $6,000?
Yes.
$6,000 is not a life-changing amount of money.
No, but it's enough for me to endure hot liquid.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I could do with $6,000?
Not a lot.
I could buy everything at the dollar store. I could clear them out.
But there are only 6,000 things there?
For a touring band.
$6,000 is a lot for a touring band.
No, for someone at their level that's going to tour with like Tool and stuff like that, $6,000 disappears pretty quick.
Yeah.
So it's more about the publicity for them where, like, you know, if I made $6,000 randomly on YouTube one month, that would be amazing for me. Mm-hmm. It would just be amazing. Like, but for them, it's like, oh man, yeah, this will help us get through the next couple of gigs and pay for, the cost of us doing this thing and pay our people, So I don't know. I think that this could be the catalyst that kicks off a lot of people doing stunts. I think that energy has been there. Like the Phoebe Bridgers thing happened. Like there's some pent up energy.
I wonder
in the newer generations, and they didn't get to live through all the Jackass, Lollapalooza, 80s hair metal, like glam metal, shock rock sorts of stuff that we all saw in our youth. Maybe it's time for a new wave of that. Because everything really mellowed out like 2000s through 2010s.
It's kind of been a crazy week for concerts, right? A crazy month for concerts.
There was that other one where people died.
Why isn't NASCAR banned Travis Scott? I guess he wasn't in a NASCAR facility.
Right.
I don't really want to talk about that one. That's just rough.
One's dark. That one's sad.
There was a lot of so the thing with the Brass Against event, that my take on it is, one, it was planned. Originally, when I heard about it, it made it sound like it was unplanned, but it definitely seems like it was planned. But two, it definitely seems like it was consensual to everyone except the viewer.
Well, like I watched it for the first time before we pressed record.
That's the first time you've seen it?
Yeah, because I didn't want to poison my YouTube feed with piss videos, Steve.
That's what private mode's for. Would you like to open a private window?
Oh my gosh,
I would.
What was I gonna say? Oh, in the video, she points at the guy before they start the song.
Oh yeah.
She's like, "I'm gonna drink this water bottle and then I'm gonna pee on that guy." It was so premeditated that I almost think like they had a conversation beforehand. He was like, I want you to pee on me. And she's like, I can make that happen.
I was trying to figure out legitimately, like, if there was anything somewhere.
Like a personal connection?
Where it had come out like, oh, yeah, that dude entered, like, a contest. Like
to get peed on?
That was a thing on the Patreon was like, hey, we're going to bring up a fan on stage during the last song to do a crazy stunt. Let us know if you're interested. And then they just picked a guy and we're like, hey, here's a crazy stunt. So Joe Braga, Joan of Heart on YouTube. The thing that she pointed out, and whether or not this was intentional or not, is kind of interesting. It's an interesting thing if it wasn't intentional. If it was intentional, I guess it is a lot of layers, visuals to work through. But the artist, Sophie, I don't know. I forgot.
I won't correct you. It's Sophia.
Is a lesbian person of color.
Okay.
Who called up a dude who's basically wearing like 80s hardcore, like kind of biker paraphernalia with a shaved head at like a rock festival. And it just is like, that dude is like the Gen Xer, like biker stereotype, like almost like just the symbol. I don't want to say the symbol of white power because that's like
other connotations. Those are the wrong words for what you're getting at.
But like the symbol of the patriarchy,
sure,
a patriarchal, and now getting pissed on by like again a LGBT person of color.
But it doesn't carry any weight for meaning that sort of thing if he liked it. And it was consensual. Like, it's not like an assault on the patriarchy.
I mean,
if he's into it.
I think there's still some potential.
It does establish a power dynamic.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sure. It's just an interesting like thing to think about from a power dynamic standpoint. And you have to. I think there's at least a little question in the back of some people's minds about like, did they pick this person specifically because he looked like an 80s biker? Like, he looks like the dude that freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger steals his clothes from in Terminator.
He really does. Oh my gosh.
Like, he looks like an extra from RoboCop.
No, he does look like a stereotype from an action movie. Like, there's the stereotype of the punk on the bus with a boombox. This is the other stereotype from the action movie. This is the biker outside of the biker bar who's super tough looking, but then gets taken out by
a woman urinating,
by the movie's baddie or the movie's,
or a woman urinating,
or a urinating woman. Oh my gosh.
Oh, your dryer just finished.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone else could hear that, but we definitely hear it in the headphones.
Real quiet. It's awkward now. Awkward.
Do we want to talk about piss more?
I'm all out.
my conversation bladder is empty. Should we talk?
All I can say is I could not do that. I am notoriously of nervous bladder.
Oh, really?
I have to be empty before doing anything performative. I'm notorious.
Anything performative? Oh, like you mean getting on stage?
Yeah, like getting on stage.
So you're like the John Mulaney situation, where it's like you're pacing backstage. You're like, I should see if I need to pee.
Yeah,
and you're making sure you're squeezing that bladder dry.
If I like pee 15 minutes before going on stage, then like I'm checking my watch again. I go like, as the band is saying, "Hey, this is our last song." I'm waiting until I think they're about halfway through their last song before I take my piss break.
Right.
Now, where I had this pay off is I went to a concert where I really needed to pee, and the band played their last song. I'm like, they're gonna do one of those fake encores right now. I know it. And so while they're doing their fake encore, I ran to the bathroom and I got back out right as they were like, "Just kidding. We know you guys know we have a hit song and we're gonna play it right now." You want to talk about the mail?
Yeah, let's talk about the mail. Steve has been vigorously.
Oh, you want to talk about that?
No, you can grab that first.
Ryan now gets his UPS letters are packaged as Ryan fan mail by UPS.
The UPS.
Why not Steve fan mail?
Well, it's because I signed up for the account under my name.
I know.
The guy at the UPS store saw all the mail coming in, and he looked up 60 Cycle Hum because that's what all the mail's addressed to. And the first time I went to go get all the mail, he was like, "I found your video," because it was so many. We don't need to open that.
I just want to.
It's just another stack of hundreds and hundreds of letters that we easily have like 1,500 letters here that didn't get selected. But Steve did end up finding an extra Azor reverb here.
Well, so what happened? What happened is
you tell the story.
We had one of the people who won reached out to us and said, "Hey, I just wanted to send you guys some postage stamps to help cover shipping, and they won't be used for this, but they will be used for
sending mail back.
Sending mail in the future, because I do a lot of smaller packages when it's only like 2 or 3 at a time, and I will use stamps because they're usually like 4 stamps.
Right.
So that's perfect for that." And he said, I don't want to pedal. I just wanted to send you this to help you guys out. So very appreciated.
Yeah. So we have an extra one.
Yep.
I decided that we would pick the heaviest package to go with, and I'm glad that I did because I realized what this is. Well, Steve read it and made it clear. It says maple syrup right there. There was a guy either on the comment section of the video or on the Facebook group or something like that. It was like, "What if I send you maple syrup?" And I was like, "If you send me maple syrup, I will send you a reverb." And so I'm glad he actually did. And I'm actually really excited to open this up and check out this maple syrup. And we're going to send it to Canada because this is coming from Canada. It's in a Vans box, which makes me doubt the quality of the maple syrup. Is this going to taste like skate shoes?
Oh, I hope so. It's going to taste like gum sole.
It's really taped up. I should have opened this before we started recording. Watch me burnacker myself right now.
I'm waiting for you to slice through and it flies out of your hand. There's your 3 million views. YouTuber kills co-host on podcast episode, still publishes.
Still publishes? Yeah, in my grief, I still edited the video.
You edited and you're like, you know what? Like, this could probably go viral.
Steve would want me to publish this.
This is our big. I mean, if I don't die,
people need to know what happened to the show.
If I didn't die, I think I definitely would want you to publish that.
Oh, totally. We need to pay for your medical costs.
Yeah, that's what insurance is for.
That's true. Man, it is really wrapped up. He's really protecting this thing, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
I am a fan of real maple syrup. I only buy the real stuff. My kids have never tasted the corn syrup stuff.
Oh, really?
Whoa, look at this. It's got a wax, dipped top on it. Oh, I'm excited. Make sure you get the address and attach it to this.
I took a picture.
He took a picture. Hopefully you don't forget. There you go. You know how to read. Kinsip Whiskey Barrel Aged Maple Syrup. Product of Prince Edward County. Ontario Grade A Dark. How to make a maple old fashioned. This is for this. This ain't for pancakes. This is for cocktails. Do I break the seal right now?
Sure. He says I just put it on my pancakes.
Well, damn, I'll put it on my pancakes too.
I'm going to go put this in the bin. So
I'm not totally sure how to open this right now.
That's, well, there's probably, there's a cork in there.
I know, but there's not like a tab to open it.
So you're probably going to need a bottle opener, like a proper corkscrew.
You're probably right. I'll wait till later. Oh, well.
Sorry, everybody.
Damn it. Now, I wanted to taste that sweet syrup in there.
What's the brand? Kinsip.
There's got to be a trick to opening this.
Yeah, it's called, I'm telling you, it's called a bottle opener.
To get through the wax?
Oh, yeah, no, what you're doing, that is the trick.
To slowly cut away at
Here,
it?
let me see it.
No, I got it. I'm almost there.
This is great audio.
Oh, people are going to love this.
Friends at our audio cadre.
I think I got it. Here, give me my blade.
Just put it away.
Well, stop doing that.
I didn't want to stab myself with it.
Why did you take it in the first place?
Fidgety.
That's true. I can relate to that. All right. You want to get into... Well, here. I'm almost there. All right. I'm breaking the seal.
That's a topic we've already wrapped up, right?
It's hard to open, and that means it's good. Whoa, the whiskey is really forward on that. Give that a sniff. I'm going to take a little taste off the cork there. Oh, no, that is maple syrup. That's good. And I'm going to put that on pancakes for sure.
Yeah.
I might make a waffle.
Oh.
Things are getting serious.
Then you got those little squares to get even more in.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to do shots of this.
I know, right? Just put it in your glass over
Diabetes be damned. Should we do an ad or you want to do a sponsorship first?
Let's do an ad.
Which one is the first one?
It's the Seafoam something or other. This Seafoam Mustang. You found this.
Yeah,
right?
This is local, and I had already screen grabbed this and knew that I wanted to talk about it. And then I think someone on Reddit posted about it.
Oh, dang.
I was like, that's local to me. Like, if this is catching national attention, then or global attention, I definitely want to talk about it.
It says it's built by Delmar Luthiery. I've never heard of them, but apparently they've been building since 2004. This guitar is a one-off based on the classic Fender Mustang design from '64, but with the Jazzmaster style full floating trem and Tune-o-matic style bridge. Short scale reduces string tension and makes fretting and bends easier. No boomer bends here. Has 2 Alnico single coil Strat style pickups with off-on switches. Mini toggle for series parallel switch. Goes from standard 2 pickup sounds in parallel to humbucker like tones in series. Both pickups in series gives fatter humbucker. There's a lot of description here.
Right.
But I don't know. What do you want to take? The 12-inch fingerboard radius. So that is not traditional.
It's a highly tweaked version of a Mustang with an unbranded Stratocaster headstock on it. A lot of kind of extra features here. But I just like the way it looks. And the thing that kind of like did it for me is I usually think colored pickup covers are kind of tacky on single coils. Like they work on humbuckers. You get like a neon pink humbucker and it works. But for some reason, single coils, when they're any color other than white or black, I'm like, that's tacky. Because they match the paint of the guitar identically, I kind of dig that look. And his price isn't ridiculous. Like
$500.
$500. It is a parts guitar, but it looks really clean. It sounds like it has a lot of good options going on.
Well, okay, yeah, go ahead and finish.
I don't know. I just think it's handsome, and it catches my eye every time I see it pop up on Craigslist, and I'm a little surprised I haven't seen it sell yet. I mean, it does have the handwritten stuff on the back of the headstock. It is a home done job.
It's a home done job with, I think, kind of like it's It's such a tough, like, I'm thinking through this because it's looks really well thought of.
It's a handsome parts guitar. I have a feeling this guy is getting offers probably in the 350, 400 range, and he's turning them down. And that's the only reason it hasn't sold.
And part of that is, I think every component on this, with the exception of the CTS pots, is like, oh, and the orange drop tone capacitor.
Sure.
Basically every component on here that where the real part is $100, they use the import option. So,
like they didn't use an AVRI offset trim on this. It looks like the cheap version of the trim. Yeah. It's unbranded. It doesn't have
it's an unbranded trim. It
doesn't have the little stop button thing.
Yeah, it's an import tom because it's got the flathead.
Not
screw.
An import Thomas.
It doesn't.
If you're going to use a Thomas, get a domestic Thomas. We're talking about the Tune-o-matic bridge.
And so I do kind of wonder, to your point, like I like the way the colors work with the Perloid, but I also wonder what this looks like in person. When you look at it in person, like if the pickup covers just look really cheap.
I almost like, there's something about the shape of the pick guard that's a little off-putting, and the fact that it doesn't have the segmented Mustang control panel.
Oh, right.
That messes up the look of it a little bit. I almost like pulled up a picture of a Harley Benton to see if this was a Harley Benton pick guard.
There's just a lot of little things that I think from a like if you're a Mustang fan, there might be things about this that are off-putting. And if you aren't a Mustang fan, you might be looking at this and going, oh, that looks like fun, but not $500 fun.
I'm pulling up a Harley Benton. This might be a Harley Benton body and pick guard. I actually think it is. I think they refinished a Harley Benton body because that is the Harley Benton pick guard.
Oh, and then just slapped like a different neck on it.
So that means that is the original Harley Benton hardware. And I had one of these. That's why I recognize it a little bit. Not a bad guitar. They must have put an aftermarket neck on it to get the Fender headstock.
Right.
So we don't know if that is a good neck or not. I mean, any parts neck, it's hard to know. Like you look at that truss rod hole, and it doesn't give you the impression that this is a high-end version of the neck.
If it was like an all parts neck, if it was honestly, if it was any branded neck, I think if it was me at least, I would name the neck.
Yeah.
Right? Like if it was all parts or Mighty Might even like, or, even Guitar Fetish, I think I would be like, oh, this is a Guitar Fetish neck.
We were talking with the Gearsome boys, and we came to the conclusion on the subject of people naming guitars. I mean, if you want to name any guitar a female name you want, that's fine, unless it's an Ernie Ball guitar, because it's got balls. That's a boy guitar every single time. I just wanted to put that out there. Now the Gearsome boys can talk about that as well and elaborate on it. But anyways, it's a Harley Benton body, Harley Benton hardware, mystery neck. It looks really sharp. It's really attractive, but that's a hard upsell, even though it looks really pretty. But my big question is, are the pickup covers impregnated with that color? Are they that natural color all the way through? Or did he paint them when he painted the body? Or if the pickup covers are that color, did he match the colors by mixing paint? Two of those three scenarios are impressive to me. But if he just painted them, that's not as impressive to me. Like, I want to know that those pickup covers are that color as the plastic is that color, not that they're painted, But it does look sharp. And
I mean, I will say in all of the different, because the pictures are attacking this at several different angles. So like you kind of see the way that this seafoam green is more green in some photos and more of like a blue in other photos. And the pickups change color along with it.
So they must be the same. They must be painted. Nice sleuthing, Steve.
I mean, I don't know. That's the way I.
Well, here we go. We got the inside edge of one of them. it's hard to tell. Yeah. Like it could be the plastic, it could be painted.
Hard hitting journalism right here.
I know, right? It's hard to tell. But, you know, at the end of the day, even if no one buys this, it's attractive project starting point.
Yeah.
But you can see the orange peel on the finish there. So yeah, this is a home done job for sure. It's not as slick as it looks farther away, but it still looks pretty good. Fender, if you're watching Fender, pay attention. That's a really good look. And I think you guys could pull that off. Put a racing stripe on there. Start matching pickup covers to finishes on guitars. And I think people will like it.
You've been bringing up racing stripes a lot lately.
I'm saying I want to go fast, Steve. I just keep thinking about peeing at NASCAR. I want to pee fast.
Oh, man. You got anything new?
Oh, you don't want to talk about piss anymore, Steve?
Actually, we need to do our sponsor spot. This first sponsor spot, this episode is brought to you by Chaseless Audio, who just announced that this pedal, the Tonal Recall, is going to be discontinued. They're gonna make 500 more.
Yeah, for dealer orders.
And then bye-bye.
Yeah, so
in favor of the Thermae.
Which I actually get. I get that decision. I'm a longtime fan of the Thermae. The Tonal Recall is awesome.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's getting discontinued. I have the original wood box. This is the one I used
He has the box.
My demos. I'm just saying, if someone made me an unreasonable offer that I wouldn't be able to refuse, I don't know.
Now, is yours...
This is the red knob mod
Is
version.
yours a red knob? Did you send yours and get it modded, or did you get it as modded?
No, I sent it in and got it modded. Ooh. And this is the one that I used in my demo video way back in the day.
Anyway, if you want a Tonal Recall...
$2,000. Offer me $2,000 and it's yours.
The prices are already starting to go up on Reverb. I'm sure they will continue to go up. I've heard people say like dealers are running out.
Right.
Even though there will be more. So I don't know what that distribution is going to look like.
It is a very good reverb. I honestly...
You mean delay?
Oh boy, it is a very good delay. My mind is falling apart right now. The piss talk has fried my brain. But it is a very good delay. Mm-hmm. It's a very good analog delay. But please, guys, don't spend $1,000 to get one of these.
Yeah,
just
get a Thermae.
Don't spend $2,000 to get one of these. Even though if you offered me that, I would have to accept it on principle of feeding my family.
And also because he said it on this podcast, which is also maybe not could be an legally binding.
It is legally binding. I am legally required.
He's making a verbal agreement between himself and you, the listener.
This is a contract. I've signed a contract with any of you that want to pay me $2,000 for this
with his lips.
Yeah, so I signed a contract with my lips. It's like a kiss from me. So anyways, jeez. I mean, they're wonderful, but guys, don't fall down that rabbit hole of, pretending these are crypto coins or something like that. Like if you want a really good delay and you have one of these, keep it. If you can get one at a fair price, at something approaching a normal price from a retailer that still has one, go for it. But really look into the Thermae. Look into the Thermae. They're going to make more of those. It's a really good delay. The Thermae is fantastic. I swear to you, it is. Don't do scalping. Don't. All right. But if you have $2,000, I will sell it to you.
All right, man. You got anything new?
Oh, man. What do I have new? This is the last session where you and I are going to record. We're going to record one more episode in this session, but it's the last recording session where the backdrop here is going to be the same.
Oh.
Because I've cleared off a wall that you guys can't see across from us where there used to be my workbench and all sorts of garagey stuff. I rearranged the whole rest of the garage a few weeks back, and I've been clearing off that wall, and I'm going to move all the string swing hangers, the wall rail hangers over there for storage of most of the guitars and get more sparse in the background. It's the plan anyways. I just want to get more decorative back there. I want it to feel more open and less like claustrophobic. And I also want to move a lot of guitars out of line of sight and be more picky and specific about what is being featured behind me. So
it's gonna be very RGB. It's gonna be all red guitars and then all blue guitar.
I might do a theme. Who knows?
All white guitars.
Or maybe I'll start charging companies. You want your guitar featured?
Oh my gosh. Wow.
That would be so stupid. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to.
Yet.
Unless you offer me $2,000. I mean, you offer me $6,000. I already said what I do.
That's a bad move, man. Someone's going to take you up on that. You got too many followers.
An hour of pissing for $6,000.
No, someone's just going to be like, I'll pay you $6,000 to let me piss on you.
I will take that money.
All right.
No, I'm serious.
Be some weirdo.
I don't care how. No, it will be a weirdo.
You're gonna have to meet.
I don't care how weird they are. Like,
all right.
$6,000 is $6,000, and from my perspective, it's not a sex thing. That is not a sex thing. I'm not having sex when that happens. I'm not prostituting myself. I'm just a toilet. We're not still in the sponsorship, are we?
I'm not sure. No,
we're in what's new. This is episode 404, and it will not be found. Like this is going to get taken down quick. I'm sure. If any episode is going to get taken down, this is the one.
The direction of this episode is definitely not found.
What's new with you, man?
I was on the Effects Loop podcast this week.
Oh yeah, I need to listen to that.
It was a lot of fun to hang out with Scott and Diaz. And it was probably actually more off the rails than this episode is.
Was it
somehow?
Was it like a crazy train?
It was similar to a crazy train.
All right. You know what? Those guys gave me such grief at Summer NAMM. I stayed in the same Airbnb with them. They gave me such grief that I'd never been on their show. I was like, well, invite me. And then they invite you first, like 6 months later.
I mean, I guess I was available.
Or 3 or 4 months later, however long it's been since June.
But it was a lot of fun. I think it was a good episode. I think it's a little different from their usual format, but that's okay. We talked about what was new. We talked about some current events. We tried to talk about Facebook group toxicity, which our Facebook group has had some toxicity lately. But mostly we just talked. It was a nice little hang.
So. Well, try to remember to put a link to the episode.
I did.
In the description.
In this description, yeah,
of this episode, and people can go click it when they're done listening to us.
Yeah,
talk about piss.
Definitely will. Speaking of, no, I'm just kidding. You want to hit this ad?
Yeah.
Let's hit an ad.
Yeah. This is. Oh shoot.
This is Junkyard Bass. This was sent by Grant Wilson from Big Ear.
From Big Ear Pedals. Let's start making it sound European. Big Ear Pedals. He sent this to both of us, and he sends us these private messages, and I always think, man, I hope I remember to put this in an episode. And this time, instead of thinking that, I took the screen grabs in that moment. It's like, I'm putting this in an episode, because he sends us like used ads all the time, just in a personal way. This thing is wild. They want $995 for it.
Oh, it's fretless. That's cool.
Yeah, it is fretless, Steve. It's also nutless.
Oh, it is. You're right. It is.
But I want your take on that in a minute, because you know more about bass stuff than I do. This thing looks like it was made almost exclusively with parts from Home Depot.
It says it was built locally out of bass parts, amp parts, and various junkyard items. Plays and sounds remarkably well, and whoever made it took some time to engineer it. It also makes a great wall hanger.
Oh, okay. The person selling it isn't going to take credit for making it, huh?
And conversation piece.
The person who made it, wink, wink, took great care into making this. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, but they took great care. It was not me, I promise. But man, they really took great care to make this. Sure, dude. Yeah, we don't think that you made it, but it is definitely made out of like scrap metal parts. The neck is some sort of square beam of metal, 2 square beams of metal screwed together.
Yeah, that's definitely like the part that's holding the tuners on, those all look like Home Depot brackets.
Yeah, it's some sort of like lumber bracket.
Yeah. The body, I think, is like the MDF off of like some kind of amp.
It's some sort of MDF for sure.
There's a logo for a Vox Cambridge, some kind of Vox
Westminster.
Vox Westminster, that's what it was.
The controls are in an electronics box, also can be found at Home Depot, I'm sure. Like not like a music electronics box, not like a Hammond box, but like oh, you could probably shove a light switch in there.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people put pedals into those, but it's not ideal. It's like a funky bent steel thing that has side screws.
The bridge is on a plywood riser that's been painted silver. It has some sort of Fender wide range bass pickup in the neck position. The body is shaped like I think it's supposed to look like an axe.
It looks like an axe.
It's trying to do like a Gene Simmons black axe with a chrome blade sort of thing.
This cable is screwed into place.
But like the lower bout and lower horn makes sense as an axe. The top bout and top horn, it's not a horn, is more of your Bodily rectangle guitar shape.
Yeah.
Oddly, there's something appealing about it visually. Like, oddly, it works.
Visually, visually, I think it looks better than whoever was making most of the Gene Simmons basses. His axe basses. I think it looks better than that.
I look at this and I believe that it's playable.
I look at this but it doesn't have a nut.
But here's the thing. Aren't there basses that are kind of strung like that, or some sort of instrument that's strung like that? Like what's going on is the strings are feeding into these hollow beams.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then poking out of holes, allowing them to feed onto the fretboard. So there's not technically a nut, but the strings are being fed onto the fretboard at the same place. And I'm sure they buzz and rattle when open, but it's fretless. So you're not playing chords on this anyways. You're playing one note at a time. So it kind of doesn't matter. Like if you're playing open, you can put your finger all the way up there if you want.
Sure.
Like I believe that this works.
I think there are probably positions where it works. When I look at different angles of pictures, I can't tell if it's just that the photo angles are bad, but for example, one of these pictures, in multiple pictures, it looks like once you get halfway up the fretboard, the strings are no longer, or I say fretboard, it's that brass whatever rail,
right?
That the strings are no longer actually above it, so it's actually, it makes perfect sense that it does that, because when you think about especially bass necks do this more, but pretty much all your necks do this to some slight extent, where they will be wider at the 22nd, 24th fret, however many frets you have there. The neck is a little wider there,
right,
than it is at the nut. But in this case, it's two freaking aluminum, brass colored aluminum rails.
Right.
So they're perfectly straight all the way down. But your bridge is
wider than
at least in this case, the bridge definitely looks like it's wider than the nut. And so your strings, by the time they get, again, if you look at this one, both the low and high string look like it's off the fretboard.
Yeah.
Once you get up into the horn.
They've installed these extra rails on the edges of the fretboard as it gets down there, which I think that's the reason that's there, is because they're like, oh crap, the strings are wandering off the edge. I have to put rails on the edge of this.
Oh, but they're not they're not fully even.
Well, no, nothing on this guitar is fully even, Steve.
I didn't realize that because the angles in the photos are all kind of weird. I like how they marked 12th fret. There's all these little Sharpie lines where the frets should be, I guess. It's okay, you thought this out. This is a perfect example, not to, be cliche. There is a lot of Jeff Goldblum in this bass. There's a lot of your scientists asked if they could, they tried to find out if they could do it, not if they should do it.
They asked if they could, not if they should,
yeah,
sort of thing.
That's what is going on here. Like I said, you have a little wire that's held together by, I don't know what these are called, but they're little guides.
Right.
Electrical little guides for the that come off the pickup that go into the tone box. But also the instrument cable is held in place by the same type of like cable guide.
Right.
Which means you can only use this with one cable without doing like...
The cable's included.
Yeah. And it's... like I said, visually, like this is a cool wall hanger, I guess. Like I could see this being like a neat wall hanger. It'd be a lot of... I can see like...
If this is playable and someone played it successfully in a band regularly, like it was their bass for their band. It wasn't a novelty to them. It was their instrument. I would be so impressed. I'd be incredibly impressed because it looks like in some ways it is a pile of parts of random pieces of materials bolted together in a way that shouldn't work. But in other ways, it looks like it's very intentional. It looks like it technically might functionally work. It has a real bass pickup in it. Like
it's $1,000.
That part is totally bonkers. Like if this was, like I just described, a bass that was being used for gigs regularly by a known band, then that would make sense. But there's no history that we've been told about it. There's no history in the description saying why it's that much money. It's scrap metal parts that happens to be a bass. It almost makes me wonder if the person's just putting it on Reverb to show it off. Like, here it is. It's $1,000. I just want people to see it. I know it's never going to sell.
That's got to be the case. It's just something, they're trying
silly.
They're trying to get in it. They're trying to get some attention, and then they're going to take an offer for like $300.
Listen, if you want attention on the internet, just pee on someone's face, okay? So, transitioning off this ad sent to us by Grant Wilson, huge thanks to our next sponsor, Big Ear Pedals. They had a fresh run of loafs recently, and then Steve reposted the Instagram story, and then they sold out a couple minutes later.
They might have been sold out before, maybe?
No, Steve, I think we should take the credit.
Definitely taking credit.
We definitely are taking credit for this very popular pedal selling out very quickly. It had everything to do with us reposting an Instagram story. But yeah, here's my pitch for Big Ear. You want one? You want one of these bad boys? Same thing for Chase Bliss. You want one? You better go follow all their social media to stay up on when things are available, when new exciting colors and finishes and models are coming down the line. You want to be the first on your block to know so that you can pull the trigger if it's something that you want. So go follow these companies that sponsor us on all their social media accounts.
Big Ear did a big run. Grant sent me pictures. He made a bunch of pedals. And like a week ago, everything was in stock. They are now out of stock on the woodcutter and the loaf. But they still have Albies and L's in stock. So there's still stuff for people to buy.
Go and it looks like they got shirts too. Go buy some shirts.
Have some shirts.
Yeah. All right. Huge thanks to Big Ear for once again sponsoring this show that apparently is all about toilet talk. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. This is what I do for a living now. I just talk about poo-poo pee-pee.
Jeez. All right, let's do some housekeeping. Housekeeping is a part of the show where people sign up and hope Ryan pees on them someday.
They probably hope that you'll pee on them too.
Oh, okay, great.
Steve, what if we can get someone to pay $12,000 for both of us?
All right, so at the $1 level, which is we drop your name on the show, we got Clyde Harvey, Leighton Janis, Mark Sweeney. I thought I read some of these names before, but that's okay. Jason McCloskey, Michael McFault, and Ethan Clem. At the $5 level, we've got Rigfish. I don't know who Rigfish is, but that's a cool name. And then at the
that is a cool name.
At the $10 level, so at the $5 level, I'll send you a merch pack probably after I get caught up with this. And then at the $10 level, you get into the Inner Circle. There is a link for you Inner Circle guys in the post that I've made on Patreon where you can reach out to me on Facebook. Just add me on Facebook and send me a message saying, hey, I'm in the Inner Circle. And I'll get you into our behind the scenes group where we talk about a lot of things, including a new 60 Cycle Hum group that I just started a couple days ago. That is starting to make the rounds, but I'm not going to talk about it here. If you want to know about
it, Steve started an unauthorized 60 Cycle Hum group. It's a half authorized 60 cycle hum group.
I authorized it.
I didn't authorize it.
And those $10 people are Sammy, John Taylor, Jack Stowe, and Edward Averill.
Yeah. I just want to say huge thanks to like everyone that supports us for any amount of time, for any dollar amount through Patreon, through that like crowdsourcing sort of thing. It allows us to pay bills. It allows this show to be self-sustaining. There are costs involved with a lot of the stuff that we do, and it really does keep the show going. So huge thanks. Huge thanks. It's paying for an incredible amount of shipping we're doing with those Azor pedals.
Yeah.
Like I just PayPal'd Steve $340 something the other day for one
box
chunk of the pedals.
Yeah, it's going to be about that was for about 56 pedals, 55 pedals. So yeah,
220 to go.
Yeah.
We're going to end up spending about $2,000 in shipping.
I'll try to pick up the pace once we get, once we get some time off and whatever.
Pick up the pace.
Like try to.
You mean like the salsa?
Yeah.
New York City.
Get a rope.
Remember when an advertisement for salsa had a line in it about lynching someone? That was a wild time to be alive.
Pepperidge Farms remembers. That was pretty good. All right, this last ad was sent by Michael Kraus. It is a yard sale in Green, Rhode Island. Apparently it was sold. Guitars, amps, and pedals. I will only sell the lot, and $2,000 is firm.
Well, I just
must pick up, no shipping.
I titled it yard sale because it looks like a yard sale. It's a guy selling everything all at once.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, I figured that.
This is like classic 60 cycle hum ad territory right here. We were always looking at these big group listings when we first started. My initial
this might be worth $2,000.
No, my initial gut reaction looking at this pile of boxes and stuff, especially when you see that Marshall and a bunch of pedals, the parts, telly back there, meh. The classical guitar, probably meh. There's a metal muff on top of the box, meh. But something about the amp. Oh, and there's an Ibanez and a PRS SE. The acoustics look like they're probably trash, but I don't know. $2,000. There might be flip here.
I don't know what this acoustic brand is, but the PRS SE does look good, and it looks like that might be somebody's signature model. I'm not sure.
I'm seeing some Behringer boxes.
The Ibanez could be something.
I think the Joyo D-Seed is on there. I definitely recognize an Afford-A-Board pedal box there. I
think this, Azor. So this one picture, the acoustic that is not the acoustic that's kind of a Gibson Hummingbird knockoff.
Right.
Looks like it might be like a Hondo maybe. And I think I played one of those like 20 years ago. It was pretty good. Oh, is it worth anything? No. But it's a good player.
The heavy lifters here are that Ibanez, which I'm assuming is the cheap version of the Gem. Mm-hmm. Then the PRS SE and the Marshall amps.
There's a Marshall. There's the Marshall Origin 20, which is a $500 head. There's that Marshall 2x12 it's sitting on top of.
Yeah, there's a Blackstar amp of some variety.
Is that an amp or just a cab?
I can't. No, it's got a power plug wrapped around the handle.
I didn't know Blackstar made anything that had a control.
But there's also like a 1x. I'm guessing that's like a 1x10 Marshall cab, and there might be another speaker cab underneath that box. Like this person, see, there's another speaker cab underneath the pedal box right there, which is not that other Marshall cab. So there's a couple speaker things going on. There's some sort of hard case back here that looks beefy.
Yeah, that's like a SK or a Gator travel case.
Magazines in this flat tote here, probably worthless. Oh yeah, there's an Azor pedal right there. I guess that's probably one of those boost ones.
It's probably one of the reverbs we sent.
No, it's not, because it's white. It's not.
I see what you're.
It's not turd brown.
Is that a Flamma, the white one underneath it?
There's a K-line. I'm guessing that's a power supply box. There's another electro harmonics box. This person's probably a viewer with all this Fortis stuff.
It's hard to say. I think this is worth at least trying to kick the tires on if you're close to it.
I would show up. To poke around at it and then do some quick math in my head and decide.
Yeah.
Like I think with a thing like this is you're looking for flip range. You're like, can I get my $2,000 back? And can I keep something I actually want out of this?
Right.
So you're like doing a flip that'll be a lot of work to part all this stuff out, but you're trying to you're scheming and scamming, trying to give yourself an excuse to get another guitar or another amp that you want and justify it by well, I can sell all this other stuff.
Yeah, and I'm really curious what this the Marshall vertical cab, that's a cool little thing. But I think those can sometimes be worth something.
I think those amps and the cabs that we can't tell what they are, plus the two guitars of reasonable value,
right,
makes this close enough to $2,000 in value that everything else is just gravy. Like a lot of those crappy acoustics and the unfinished parts telly, you're selling those for $20-$50 each, but that adds up. There's two acoustics, one classical, and the parts telly. You've got yourself at least $100 there.
Yeah.
To clear those out. And you've got a whole bunch of pedals and random odds and ends that are probably $20 each. You really have to look at this pile and just average it and be like, everything in this pile that isn't the two guitars and amps is $20 each.
I think this Marshall head and cab together is probably only $600. I think you might be slightly overestimating, which is why I'm kind of more in the go kick the tires and figure out what you can't see.
Right. Because I think the stuff that you can't see is really because right now it's on the edge of being worth $2,000.
And depending on what this Ibanez is, because this Ibanez does look really cool, but considering that everything else is basically budget.
And for all we know, that could be an AliExpress knockoff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one's going to knock off of the PRS SE. They would just knock off a regular PRS, but the gems get knocked off all the time. So it's hard to know exactly unless Steve finds it right now with his Googling.
Oh, there's a $500. It's
right. That's what I'm saying.
It's a $500 Ibanez gem.
It's the cheaper version of the gem.
Yeah, it's the Gem Junior.
Well, guys, what's your take on those? Someone told me that they're trash, but you know what I like. I like cheap stuff. I can hang with cheap stuff. Is it actually trash, or is it just trash compared to the expensive gems?
Wasn't there someone in the comments who was complaining that you hadn't reviewed a Gem Junior?
There might have been. There was someone complaining that I haven't reviewed the new Kramers. And it's I don't play that way, guys. I'll pick one up if I see one in person at a shop or something like that. But it's I'm never going to get, the full shred out of one of those guitars with my playing. So what's even the point of me tracking down one to have it sent to me? Unless, if someone offered.
What's the point of any of this?
If Kramer hit me up and was like, hey, we want to send you this, I'd say yes, but I'm not going to seek it out on my own. I don't know. You want to take us out of here?
Yeah, the song was sent by Steven Dixon.
Did we say who sent this ad?
Yeah, Michael Kraus.
Michael Kraus. Thank you, Michael Kraus.
This ad was sent by Steven Dixon. It says Typhoid Mary. I think that's the name of his band, Typhoid Mary. The song is called Chameleonic. It says main pedals, DS1, Ranger effects bleep, Keeley Fuzzbender with a Squier Jagmaster.
Are you going to be able to play it?
I should be able to.
This is riveting stuff. It's loading. I can see the little bar loading. If only someone could edit. Until they invent the technology to edit video, we're out of luck. Starting out nasty with that fuzz. Damn, son. Get it.
It dawned on me that the
Loving this.
Sweating away. Women and making real mistakes. Lead paint, sunscreen, you gotta have it. Disappointing point, it's automatic. Let me take you to the Badlands, and in that might trust me again. The first one is free, so it's on me. I did not make a turn. I've let the curse repeat the verse, a contracting universe, and still the joke was on me.
Okay, I loved every part of that.
Okay, do you usually mix down when you
Oh yeah, you mean down to mono?
Yeah.
No, I'll leave that
Okay,
stereo.
cool.
Yeah. We'll put that out as stereo.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we put this out as mono, that song's gonna be way less cool.
Yeah.
There's so much going on. That was a lot of fun.
Holy heck.
Honestly, so I read the description. There's not a lot of information here. I was not expecting that based on the amount of information.
That was
here.
a ride. That was filthy.
Yeah, that was rad.
That was a perfect way to end this piss episode. All right, bye everyone.
See ya.
Stay grounded.